I
Screw
wasn't
me
going to
thingy.
put anything, and then I saw other people put some, so then I did.
Oh my god, wait, how do I change my dice skin? Can I
So
do that here?
yes, so for that you would go into the cogwheel on the top right. You go
Okay.
configure settings, find the thing which is called Dice So Nice.
Okay.
Then you go 3D dice settings, and then you can play with that shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Thank
there's
you.
a lot of different, very cool options. I have
Where's
settled
dice so
on.
nice? Oh, I see it. Never mind. Okay.
I've settled for these pretty chill ones.
Hmm.
Black and red, favorite colors.
Black and yellow, black.
Black and yellow. All right, so let's just go straight to the Frost Maiden's Keep. Now, I'll have to say, I've not figured out how exactly to do this. I think I would have to adjust the original size of the piece of art, but some of these load differently because some of them are just smaller than the others, but you'll just have to zoom in and some such, but it's all chill. So, with that out of the way, now for most of you, I have your 3-day downtime activities checked off. For the most part, the idea was to meet today for the end of day for the 15th of IO 15th. Now, I don't have activities for Atish and Jax if you wanted to do something besides figuring out your abilities and practicing and helping in a general setup of Invierno. You're also welcome to tell me. And the other three, I believe I have all your things checked off, unless there's anything else that you wanted to do. But I'd like to start with Patish, just in case there's something highly important you wanted to do, any inventions, any kind of support for the city, anything along those lines.
I never know what to do for downtime, so I can't answer you.
Okay. So Patish is just kind of hanging out for a few days?
Yeah, there's a thing where we can hold our downtime, right? And then say, oh, I was doing this actually later, right? Can I do that?
I feel like I remember. Oh, that's an Abria Iyengar rule. I don't mind
like
it.
you said that we could.
I don't.
What? Do
Yeah,
what?
I don't think I have that in my rules.
Holding downtime
Personally,
action. DACA.
holding. Yeah, I know that's an Abria thing. I don't know that somebody else uses it or it's in the official rules. I don't mind it.
I know. I didn't consider this whole thing to be actually downtime, to be completely honest.
Right, it's not necessarily downtime because you are
Like
doing things.
I didn't do anything that I wanted to actually do with downtime because we had,
Other things
stuff to
too.
do.
Right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't call it downtime. I guess that's maybe the wrong way to put it, but there are 3 days worth of time within which you can take activities that you think are important. So if Patish, you want to hold it, I'm down to do that. Maybe I'll write up a rule for that portion as well. But with regards to maybe catching you up on what has happened, I would ask you to maybe do that in character with the other characters. So I don't have to really speak for them, and they can just fill you in character. Jax, is there anything you'd like to do besides the conversation that you had with the Frost Maiden and your general training?
Yeah, I'm really just focusing on getting accustomed to my new power, so when I go into actual battle for the first time, I'm not flying blind. And a lot of that would be utilizing different spells and things like that, so I probably wouldn't be able to get fully accustomed to that on a single day or something. But
that one an accident.
Beyond that, just helping prep the keep, right? Because there's the assault coming to us, so we want to be well fortified. Best we can. So just general prep stuff for the battle ahead of us.
Okay, perfect. I'll roll over that rule to you as well for the time being, in case there's anything that comes up during the next day or so that you could have prepared during your downtime. Let me know. I believe Abria had it something like you have 3 chips for things that you might have done during that downtime. Is that correct?
Sure.
Something along those lines. I don't 100% remember, but I think it was like 3 chips worth of things that you could have done. They shouldn't be anything incredibly major, but you know, little preparations that you could have done along the way for you to be ready for this battle.
Jax is more so the kind of person to listen to people smarter than him, so that's kind of his vibe. Like if the Frost Maiden or Irie tell me to do anything in particular, yeah, Jax would be kind of like the brute force behind that in a way. You know what I mean? Like Irie's not putting up like boards on the windows or whatever it may be, right? So Jax would be doing manual.
What I had told Jax to do was to help Hillback in organizing the ground troops and the terrain.
Yep.
Like with you guys like practical knowledge of how to fight on ground, like organize things so that our essentially fodder troops have the best chances.
That's what I would have done then.
Okay. With that in mind then, let's jump on to IO 15th late in the evening as the people of La Sauvagerie begin to come in as well. Before I go to the portion that I had wanted to talk about, I know that Clue and Malachi, upon arriving, had wanted to seek you all out. You two, Clue, Malachi, give me a perception check each, please, just to see whether you're able to find them in the area, depending on whatever they may be doing. Heidi, I think, is relatively easy to spot and locate because she is probably working on magic somewhere. Yeah, somewhere in the vicinity. That is so funny. Your role is so private, I can't even see it.
Oh.
You rolled it just to yourself. I guess. Yeah. Oh, you did a self roll. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can do your private gem roll, blind gem roll. I do wonder what that means. I don't know what a blind
gem roll means. Only the GM can see it. You can't even see it as the person who rolled it.
Oh, cool. That's very cool. All right, Blue, you do know where Heidi is. Finding her is easy. Give me just a second. The song gets loud as fuck. Okay. Finding her is easy enough for you. In terms of finding Patish, I would assume Patish is probably somewhere in the vicinity of the keep itself as well. And Jax, with that 21 perception, you could also find him flying overhead on the back of Nat. And now very noticeable to you is they have changed quite a lot in appearance. But you're able to spot all 3 of your allies, and if you wish to gather them, you can holler out to them, and unless one of you refused to join at the moment, you'd all be together at some point. The stage is yours.
Should we just go ahead and round up everyone?
I think that would be best.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ, bro's dying.
What?
What's your HP at?
This is very loud response.
We'll get everyone, Frostbane, Neuterin, anyone of note, really.
Bazil, Hillback. Yeah.
I wish to say there will be a meeting later in the day, about an hour and a half from now, with all the leaders that have arrived in Invierno. So
Okay,
depending on what
then-
it is you want to do, you can either wait for that, or you can urge them to push the meeting forward.
I will urge them to just push it forward.
Okay.
As this feels time sensitive, really.
All
We will
right.
say no time. I don't know whether or not Neither knows exactly, but it would be fine to be the first one to let him know
Mm-hmm.
specifics.
Okay. Let me just go ahead then and set the scene. As the day is coming to a close, you've all gathered one final time to discuss the steps for the next few days. Earlier now, at the behest of Clue and Malachi. Hundreds of people have come in over the course of the last 3 days, far more than you had expected. All the individual and one separate people of Invierno gathered at the call of the maiden, bringing hundreds of them to the castle, both fighters and civilians. The people of La Sauvagerie arrived, wrapped in thick clothes to deal with the cold they are not accustomed to. Most of them appear to be strong fighters, wild and dangerous, although even among their numbers, you spot a few young children and elderly folk who are not to participate in battle. Valor's Call arrived but a few hours ago. A few dozen trained fighters at the side of Strongheart, Ringelrun, and even Mercion. The castle, while still run down and broken, a fractured image of its former beauty, is now brimming with life. Soldiers gathering destroyed pieces of structure and placing them along the path to create a single walk of death for the incoming enemy army. The leaders among you have been called to the Maiden's Keep for a final strategic meeting. Besides yourselves, there is Ellipsia, of course, with Enya at her side, Neuterin and Cherry, Lord Gogol, General Cerise and General Rebecca, as well as young Akuta, Strongheart and Ringelrun. Hilbeck is standing at your side, and even Vasil is somewhere off in a corner, leaning against a pillar. As you've all gathered, the maiden will ask for everyone's attention.
I thank you for coming to our aid, and I wish to officially welcome you into my domain. We were once a great people, led by our belief in new beginnings and a brighter tomorrow, before we too fell to the twisted plans of hate and deception of Pandora Pavais. Most of you recognize this name, and to those of you who do not, count yourselves lucky. Pandora is a fool driven by ambition and power, who once almost destroyed an entire civilization with his machinations of madness. He was eventually defeated and locked away here, in a prison of his own making. And it is here that he has been biding his time, hidden away from any prying eyes, gathering strength for himself in an attempt to rebuild that which he once possessed. An army of loyal creatures from beyond the void. An army untouched by the light. An army of monsters.
She pauses to look around the room at each and every one of the gathered people.
2 of his new closest followers are on the way to Invierno now, and 1 of his oldest and most ferocious generals has risen and is on the move once again. We do not know if she will come with this group, but the thought of her presence alone should be enough to worry everyone here and beyond this prison. Tonight, I have asked you all here to finalize our plans for tomorrow, and that is when we are expecting their army to arrive at our gates. Everyone must know their given task and complete it to the best of their abilities. Please, speak now if you have any further questions, suggestions, or ideas.
She'll look expectantly around the room, giving everyone an opportunity to talk if they so wish to do.
Malachi will raise his hand, and those who know him will kind of notice that he's much paler than they are used to him seeing, and his hand is kind of shaking a little bit. And he'll say, "That general of old of his, she's going to be here tomorrow."
You know this for certain.
Now that's from a reliable source.
And that source is.
He kind of looks at Idy and taps his head. The one who gives me my powers.
Right, that thing. And Idy would be sitting like. This is after I teleported everyone from Lesser Rogeri to here, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I would have gone there, seen the people there, and met with like Cerise and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that case, I think since the rest of the... By now, the current party, nobody has seen Idy, and... Well, nobody knew Octa really. But they hadn't seen Idy with Octa either. But Idy kind of dotes on her. It's kind of weird compared to how she treats other people. But like even in the council room, Idy would just have like Octa in her lap, kind of like a pet.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
So
sorry to interrupt. Are you all able to see this image?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I just had to turn that off.
Dark as balls. Oh, now I can.
There we go. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
Image. Woohoo.
Yeah. If you can't see images, let me know, because I might have turned on a setting accidentally. But sorry, I apologize.
I
Continue.
just assumed that you didn't want us to see it.
No, if I don't want you to see it, then I'm not gonna pull you onto the page.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Continue, Heidi.
She has this... If they have this super powerful individual with them, then... We need to... Nidoran?
He turns to look at you. He had been staring daggers at Malachi, a burning question on his tongue, but he's holding it for now and turns to look at you.
Trust me, I share your feelings on the subject, but... How capable would you and Ellipsia be at holding this individual at bay?
It depends. If she, for some reason, is already at full potential. And glances at Ellipsia, then even for the two of us, it might be challenging. But
If...
turns to look at Malachi. That source of yours, is it trustworthy? Are we not being led astray by a voice in your head?
I won't say he's never led me astray before, but even he seemed nervous this time, so I'm inclined to believe him.
Does he now?
So we have confirmation from an unknown source that is known to lie.
Well, look at it this way. If we prepare for this being's arrival, and it turns out this being is not actually there, did we lose much of value?
As you asked
All that is going...
Oh, sorry, continue.
All that is going to happen is that we're going to realize that Malachi's little friend is not as reliable as we thought, and then the two of you, who we probably would be sending to hold them at bay while we deal with the sisters, will just head back and deal with the sisters. All that we're going to lose is the element of surprise that I had intended for the sisters, since they would not be aware that neutering is on our side. But regardless, our fight with the sisters would progress as planned.
Were you able to recruit any other exalted to our cause? And he's kind of glancing around.
As you ask that question, a voice.
I was going to.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to go. I wanted to go look for this person because Clue. I wanted to make a specific check to see if I could try to find another one.
Look who? Look for who? Sorry.
Who? I wanted to see if, because like I know that they might be around, so Clue wanted to check if they are.
Does anyone in the room have anime protagonist hair?
Well,
that's basically the check, right? They don't have a sign on their foreheads saying they're exalted unless they look really extra.
Yeah. Above table.
Anyone can be the stand user.
Above table, the moment this happens is when they would be arriving. So you would not be able to see anyone or find anyone because they're simply not here yet. But at the final statement here that was made, a voice from the door pierces through the silence that follows for a moment after Malachi's question.
Ira will be here. I saw her.
Everyone turns their head toward the entrance to look at the source of the voice that no one had sensed or heard enter. And there, leaning against the doorway, is a young man, not even 6 foot tall, wearing a silvery gray cloak wrapped around his shoulders and otherwise clad in bright, white clothes. Both of his hands are wearing light blue gloves, but the most interesting features here are on his face. Partly covered by light brown hair, 2 piercing blue eyes look into the room. But these eyes appear runic in some way, like arcane runes. Any of you who are proficient in the arcane would recognize these eyes to bear the original symbol of the arcane on them, as if magically engraved upon them. Several other runes are on his tan skin above and below the eyes that appear to be taking everything in all at once. And on his shoulder sits a large, silvery gray owl with an identical set of eyes set in its face.
So, whatever plans you make, you need to consider her presence as well.
The unknown figure then nods directly at Nuderin and cracks a smile as he begins walking toward the table.
Good to see you again, old man. Cherry?
Nuderin grimaces, smiles, just nods at the newcomer, and Cherry gives him one of her usual bright smiles.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
Tyrion. Exalted
Tyrion.
of the Arcane. Nice to meet you as well, Inari.
Clue face sort of fidgets. And he looks at Nuderin.
Nuderin is just side-eyeing you as if saying, that's exactly what I meant.
Yeah, no. Clue's making a face of like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like it didn't take much, and like Clue's immediately he's throwing that vibe towards Nuderin.
That solves that. Well, if between the 3 of you, you can hold this Ira individual for about... as long as it will take for us to defeat the Psyche Sisters, we can join you in fighting her.
I saw you've got about a few hundred people in this keep. There's several thousand coming. What plan do you all have?
We're going to funnel them into a narrow corridor where their numbers advantage is going to be basically insignificant as long as they are not massively more capable individually than our groups are. This is not going to be effective forever, but it should be able to at least get us enough time to defeat the Psyche Sisters and hopefully this other individual too before they overrun us. With their leaders gone, we theorize they're not going to be able to sustain the endless amount of jesters. Or at the very least, we'll be able to decimate them.
Of note,
Never.
while you are talking to Tyrion and Tyrion responding to you, most other people in this room are looking back and forth between you guys as if watching a tennis match. Like, what the fuck is happening here? Malachi, you spoke up? Was that you that I heard? Or Clue? Sorry.
No.
I was about to say something.
Yep.
Kind of letting the two go back and forth for a moment. Clue will sort of insert himself.
That being said, probably the quickest way to disarray their forces would be to pin down the Psychic Sisters. Since they command them mentally, we should, as quickly as possible, locate them and bring them down.
Well, the plan is for us to use some sort of elevated platform or somewhere else that the Jesters can't reach to lure them in.
The La Savagerie has capable flying units, right?
Correct.
For the Psychic Sisters army, how many of the Jesters have any sort of flight capabilities?
Are you asking Tyrion?
I'm asking anyone that would have the information that's from the army. So, Cerise, Rebecca, they
Okay.
probably would have some information. Malachi, if you know, that would help. If
We
Tyrion
also
just
saw
knows,
some
then
of their
Peter
forces.
knows, I guess.
Cerise, who has kind of caught herself after this sudden entrance and the tennis match that ensued, is going to speak up.
As far as we have seen, they have no flying units. Creepy crawlers, yes. So hiding up on walls is moderately effective.
Okay. We'll set traps on walls as well.
I had already instructed the Zeal to look for any good sniping spots that could reach the corridor we'll be using to fight, as well as the platform we'll be fighting the Sisters in, so we can get some cover.
We should assume that they might bring the Charmer as well as the Snake.
Would you guys like to have a look at the battle map on which you'll be? Just so you have an idea.
I think it would be helpful if that's like the area we're prepping, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
We are
Although it-
Lord of the Rings.
Did kind of intend for us to fight the Sisters in a different spot
Yep, I figured.
than,
But just for the
than they would be
general...
fighting.
Yeah, for the general oncoming army.
Clue understands Irie's Clue understands Irie's sort of idea. He's
Yes.
also saying we should be prepared for the exact worst.
No, I know. But like,
In
we're
terms
going
of-
to prepare a plan A anyway.
In
Yeah.
terms of all of this, we were talking just about Hillbeck and finding like sniping locations and stuff. I just a moment ago, like I said, was working with Hillbeck and preparing troops. What's the vibe that Jax and Hillbeck are getting from the small, limited number of people? Like, are they capable? Are they
Give me an insight check.
sure? There we are. Average.
In terms of how trained they are, many of them are highly trained. Especially the troops that came from La Sauvagerie, those are warriors. They are animal people. Just to clarify that for you, all of the people from La Sauvagerie have bestial features, animalistic features, be it panthers with weapons, lions with weapons, flying folk with weapons, such as eagles, owls, etc. Their leaders are Lord Gogol, who is an incredibly tall deer man. He is about 8 to 9 foot tall. Their generals, Cerise, who is a bunny folk. She must be very skilled in some sort of way to be leading an army like this. And then there is General Rebecca, who is, from what you can see, she looks sort of like more humanoid than the others, but you can see red veins running across her body like a salamander of sorts. And there's not a lot, but almost a constant stream of steam coming off her skin. Those three are the leaders of La Sauvagerie. Those troops are highly trained. The people that came from Invierno, I mean, you have met some of them. They are, they were
Hardy?
hardy. Yes, they have survived these difficult conditions, so there is merit in that, of course. But in terms of being trained fighters and such, probably not as much as the troops from La Sauvagerie. However, the troops that came with Valor's Call, led by Ringelrun, who is an old mage clad in white, a little bit Gandalf vibes, but not quite there. There is Strongheart, who is a human, who is leading them. He is wearing beautiful silver armor. And there is Mercion as well, who is the cleric and healer of those troops. They all seem very ready for battle and trained for it as well. Part of your troop has battled alongside them in the past, so you know of their strength as well, and their valor most of all. So you have a good amount of people whom you believe you can trust in battle, Jax, to accomplish anything they put their mind to, especially if your plan works out well in funneling the enemy forces through this path.
And there's a couple hundred of them, 100, 200, like, is there...
Total numbers would be around 300 to 400. The Valor's Call people were a few dozen, I would say maybe 4 dozen of soldiers. The La Sauvagerie people there in total were about 200, and then the people from Invierno that made it here were about another 100, 150. So around 400 people to defend the keep against an army that Tyrion claims numbers in the thousands.
We might want to set up some, like, physical blockades and hazards, no?
I'll
Like-
get the troops on it since we finish this meeting.
Physical blockades, traps, anything to delay them. Don't try to do anything. You should try to slow them, rather than destroy them. This is not a fight we're trying to win by defeating their army. We're going to hold their army back, while our elite forces, so to speak, are defeating their elite forces. That is our victory condition.
The troops are capable. It's just, I don't know how long our numbers will be able to hold back an army.
What does that mean? We should try
That's
to
it.
focus on delaying them rather than defeating them. What I mean is that you shouldn't make traps with acid. Or poison or whatever, but traps that create obstacles.
Always remember they have to come to us.
Yes.
That being said,
And Klee's going to eye Tyrion and Neuterin, as well as Ellipsia.
it is the three of you, but I had heard that the Sin era is a bit different. Are you guys sure you'll be able to hold out?
Neuterin looks at Tyrion more so than Ellipsia, and Tyrion just still smiling, kind of smirking. He has this constant smirk on his face, as if he knows absolutely everything already. And just shrugs at Neuterin. Neuterin just shakes his head and closes his eyes, just probably already absolutely at the limit of his patience and says to you, Clue, we'll do what we can.
What if we managed a third? One more exalted.
And who are you gonna call?
Ghostbuster.
The Mother Moth? Well, I was hoping between the two of you, maybe you could get me a... Well, we have a connection as it is. I haven't quite filled my end of the bargain yet, but
Nothing.
maybe this is important enough for her to take an advance.
Nothing personal, Inari, but let's just say she hasn't fought in a while. But good thought.
It was worth a shot.
We'll be fine. I cannot be surprised by anything. If I see that anything is not going right for us, we'll just pull back.
Okay.
So, is your little group, the eyes of the beholder, going to deal with the sisters?
We are, yes.
Do you know where you're going to do that?
That is what we were going to decide from now on.
And
I would
what
think
is
somewhere
your...
out of
Sorry, go.
reach from the jesters would be ideal. It depends on the capabilities of all involved, or if we could produce, perhaps on short notice, some sort of elevated stage for us to fight the sisters in.
Let me
Let's
ask a
give them-
few more questions.
Be my guest.
Do you believe they would come to you, or would you go to them?
We would need some sort of way to draw them in. Either a threat to their armies or a threat to themselves, personally.
I'll be frank. I've seen them already. I've studied them enough to know they are not wont to come to the front lines. They're probably going to wait somewhere around the back. That being the case, how are you going to get to them? Through the army.
We'll probably have to station ourselves outside of the keep. Stay hidden somewhere. I don't have eyes as good as you, probably, but
Nobody does.
you really were right about him, Neutron. But I am good at scouting things out. And they need to be around somewhere on the back lines. That's where we'll have to station ourselves. So we'll have to be out there likely.
Your plan is clear. You have a tunnel below you to get behind the army. Use that.
Yes. That was
And-
what I was going to suggest.
Did, like, out of character really quick, did we mention that their fighting force doesn't have flyers, they only have creepy crawlies, that's correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, not just creepy crawlies, but in addition to like the regular, let's say,
Right.
units and fighters, they also have creepy crawlies, but no flying units.
Is there any way that some of us lie in wait below ground while some of us attack from the sky? On the sisters?
Are you able to hide above the clouds until they get here? It's not like they're blind and would not see you if they look up.
Yes. We would get peppered from afar. I don't think that is as ideal as simply using the natural terrain advantage that we have.
Well, what if I provided a distraction to them because they can't fire too far, right? If I'm
Is there-
500 feet,
What is the particular reason we would do that over simply hiding beneath and springing up on them after their army has passed? I'm
the
struggling
second
to
layer
see
of
what.
distraction. They would have, if they see me flying at them, right? There's something in the air. They're going to be focusing that more than thinking about what's below. I don't know. Just a thought.
He has a
I don't have to
point
do
in that our
that.
absence would probably cause them to be more on their toes. After all, we are the ones that have been killing them mostly.
Yeah, like what if Patisha and I just took to the sky, and you guys came out from below them?
Because if we do that, you both are going to get peppered with all sorts of things before we even get a chance to attack them.
But we
And I
won't
think-
approach until the time is right. Until the trap has been sprung. You know what I mean?
If you really want to distract them, I'd suggest we put them off their guard by having some sort of illusion, make it seem like we're on the front line, and then we can spring up behind them.
That's a good idea too.
You, Patish. Tyrion points at you. Can you make yourself and this flying fella invisible?
Sure, if that's what we need.
That would be the best way to ensure that nothing happens to you before it should. If you insist on having to fly, what is it with flying folk and always having to be in the air?
I just think attacking from two fronts is always a stronger option than attacking from one. Because if we're all coming from the same place underground, they can focus their fire and their efforts in one direction as opposed to two people coming at them from the sky while the rest come from the tunnel. It's a little bit more of a spread effort. They can't both focus the same area, so on and so forth. Like, what happens if they do an area of an effect and we can't exit our tunnel? You know, I'm just trying to have the least issues here.
Tyrion just looks over at Heidi. You're good with magic. You could protect the party, right? If necessary.
I have a few tricks up my sleeve for that purpose, yes.
Before the battle tomorrow, come see me. And his arcane eyes flash.
If you instead.
If you don't come, I'll find you. I know where you are.
Speaking of knowing where people are, the snake charmer, are they with the sisters?
No, he's not there. It's just the sisters, a band of fools, and that angry little girl.
Angry little girl. Should I know who that is, or is that confusing?
Confusing?
Presumably that's Ira.
Neutering.
Oh.
Have you not told them what Ira looks like? I've always found it amusing. But
You surely don't mean she's a child.
Insulting children?
when we
Looks offended.
when we first had to deal with her, she had assumed the form of a 30-year-old girl. Perhaps she was always so, or perhaps that's what she became after ascending to sinhood.
So you're telling me wrath takes the form of a teenager?
Listen, it makes sense.
I know that.
Find something scarier than an angry little girl.
I think about you.
But no, the snake charmer is not a
He's currently in Bronville. I peeked in on them as well. I can't believe that this Pandora has been doing all of these things hidden away here. I should have kept an eye on him. Figured Nidoran would do a better job. I guess he didn't. Nidoran just
Didn't
grumbles.
you know everything? How did you figure something wrong?
I don't look into every plane at all times. It is exhausting enough to keep an eye on Shatrix proper.
I see.
I keep an eye on people as well. Just looks away.
I'm sure you do.
Any chance that the snake farmer, the snake show up to this, or are they going to be predisposed?
Unless they teleport you. I wouldn't notice if they did so.
And any idea if we take out the charm, does the snake, snap out of it, or anything on it?
Snap out of it.
Are the snake and snake armor tied to one another, or are they individuals?
They are bound by some deeper in blood. Okay, give me a history check.
Okay.
Bro, was that the water cooler?
So yeah, me and Snakey,
Me and Snaky, bro.
we get jiggy with it.
Not the G.
How's that?
You don't remember anything else.
Well, if anybody else has anything else to say, I would suggest that we all get a night's rest. Tomorrow's going to be a fall battle.
We'll hash out the details of what troops are specialized in certain things with Cerise, Rebecca, Ringo Run, and is what's his name from Valspar here?
Strongheart?
Strongheart?
Yes, he is here as well.
And Strongheart. Well, I have no one soon.
I believe it would be good for us to not have all of the generals in the army. Probably could use like one or two of them to command the troops. But for the rest, since they're capable fighters in their own right, they should probably be with us fighting Psychic Sisters.
Can I ask a question above table?
Mhm.
Valor's call was from
The
the...
Feywild.
correct. I didn't
Yes.
remember that. I'm there, right?
No, they
Prisoner
were.
in the Feywild.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were there with you, and Simon was.
Correct. And where did Simon leave off? I don't remember.
Oh, that's true.
He left,
That's you!
yeah, he left
Yeah.
in what we called the mushroom something. The Shroom Shack. The Shroom Shack. He is at home in the Shroom Shack. He was not called upon. A message was sent out to Valor's call specifically, and Simon does not belong to them.
Good, didn't call Simon.
What was Valor's call's main purpose though?
They
You know
were
what I mean?
there to fight, to restore Sibylna, and deal with the hags. And your group came in at an opportune time to help them. Proved yourselves very quickly to them as powerful allies who had, similar interests to them. And so we had combined your efforts when it came to storming the castle, taking down the final of the Hag Sisters, and freeing Sibylna.
And there was the walking tree with Ildred, correct?
Correct.
I think that's probably what Simon would be more interested in, just making sure that they're okay and things of that nature.
Okay.
So
He has
I was just
abandoned the
trying
Shroom Shack.
Yeah, he would go
Not the Shroom Shack.
yeah.
We hardly knew you.
We hardly knew you.
You found purpose.
Yeah.
Like
I was
you
just
asked
making
him-
sure.
I was like, you asked him what your character is doing. I was like, I don't know, bro. What are you doing? Where you been?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know, like, what he wouldn't just be home by himself bored, right? He would have been trying to do things, and I think he would have stayed behind. And all the little trinkets he finds, he'd probably bring to the children, and they'd be happy to have a little trinket. So he probably feels at home there, you know.
Keep the thimble I gave him.
So he's not bored in the house bored.
Right. He
Yeah.
would keep the thimble. He would not have given that away.
Nice.
Okay.
I don't know that, but I'm glad that I know that.
At that final statement, to plan out things even further and to have some of the generals with you, Strongheart is going to bring one of his hands, balled in a fist, to his chest, and he will say, I'm going to fight at the front lines with my people. I must stand with them. I brought them here. I have to be there for them in their time of need. I hope you understand.
Oh yes, I agree. I was thinking mainly probably you for the Valor Skull and either Cerise or Gogol.
Cerise is quite talented at commanding troops on the battlefield.
Yes.
I'm
Either Cerise or Gogol, maybe both for the resistance.
I believe I have to be with the troops. I lead them into every battle, and so far, we have 100% success rate. And Lord Gogol himself, he is one of our key figures in battle. He is a very proficient arcane user and healer in his own right. I can give you Rebecca.
What the fuck are you saying? I want to be in the fight in the front lines.
We get to fight the toughest people. Or are you still sore after our spar?
What the fuck did you just say? I'll
He just
fight you
smiled.
right here and now again, kid.
Listen, we don't have time for all this ego bullshit. We need a minimum crew of leaders who will boost morale and bolster our troops so they don't die in the front lines. But everyone who is able to be there with us to fight the Psychic Sisters should be there, because we are aiming to kill them as expeditiously as possible so we can then fight the cosmic threat looming on our doorsteps alongside those three.
I'll come with you, but if that means I'm missing the fucking fight because I'm dealing with two skinny bitches in the back, then I'm going to be seriously pissed.
I can assure you, we have been fighting their numbered compatriots for a while, and it's not bound for an encounter.
It's not what, sorry?
Bound to be a boring encounter. You've fought endless waves of those jesters. Surely some variety would be welcome.
Yeah, would you rather fight 100 jesters or 1 Nidoran?
Well, Nudarin only counts as one kill.
Oh my god. Anyway, you're with us. That's final.
Does Nidoran take offense at being considered 1 kill?
She just chuckles,
She's not
as
wrong.
if
She's not wrong.
laughing at the thought of him being killed at all.
Oh, well. Fair. I wouldn't hold my breath tomorrow, though.
Milady and Enya. Is Enya here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there any way that we could get some frost barriers up?
I mean, like ice wolves, like the ones that are produced from.
Include what kind of gesture to his scarf.
Well, just several of them set up in the courtyard. I'm thinking of creating rows of them, so when they break through one, they're just met with another and another and another to help slow their pace.
That would be.
Sorry, that's not the voice.
That would be a good idea. Well done, Paladin. Enya, provide your support. Yes, Mother.
And speaking of our front lines, I will have my sister here accompany the frontline troops as well. She's not as suited for high caliber battles, quite like I am. And Adi points to her clone, who is like standing right behind her.
Ah, okay. I thought you were talking about Akita for a
I
second.
thought
and
so
was
too
like-
for a sec. I was like,
your
raised
sister.
I was like, we
send a little
family
bit
now.
Akita, like,
No, I just
Oh.
clone was like standing behind her and sort of like speaking. Like when she's speaking, they're actually like sometimes completing each other's sentences.
Oh man. Imagine getting a 3-way argument with those two.
Does anyone have anything
Jack
else
Snuggles.
to add on today?
I think we have some preparations to take care of, and again, everyone make sure you get good rest. It's hard to the night before a big event.
Well, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to catch a wink of sleep.
Haha.
Well, we're dealing with the psychic sisters. Where are you all? And he kind of looks at Neuterin and the other exalted. Going to be dealing with Ira. No, I mean, I just meant Tyrion and the Frost Maiden. The three of them collectively. He's looking over at the three of them.
Tyrion will look at both of them and will say,
I've got just a spot. We'll be teleporting somewhere. At the edge of battle, Ira will probably be close. She's not a complete idiot, but she likes to fight, so she'll be close to the main battle. But don't you worry, those little minions will not be able to touch us while I'm around.
And you will have a way to bring us in once we have dealt with the sisters.
Send me a message, I'll bring you in.
I'm more worried about the fight causing collateral damage to our troops.
We'll be far, far away from them.
If you're sure. I think that means meeting adjourned.
Ellipsia looks around the room one more time, expectantly, as to see if anyone has anything else to add on. Sees that no one does. Will clap her hands.
The meeting.
Fuck all these voices.
The meeting is hereby adjourned. Rest up. Be safe. Enjoy your moment of peace and quiet.
And with that, she will get up and begin heading out of the room towards the back of the of where her throne is, and away toward her chambers. Everybody else in the room is also just going to nod at one another one more time. The groups splitting up and heading out. Party, the stage is yours. Neuterin is going to just head on over to Tyrion, places a heavy hand on his shoulder, greeting him. Cherry also goes over, gives him a hug and greets him, and you're free to do as you wish.
Kind of an awkward moment to come in on. It seemed like they're doing the whole catching up, haven't seen you in a very long time type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Clue will then
make way for Ellipsia,
Okay.
because he does just have a small favor to ask of her.
Okay. You'll have to kind of not chase her down, but hurriedly run after her, because she's making her way out of the room through the back. But you catch up to her more swiftly, fella, and she'll just turn to look at you. Yes.
Lady Ellipsia, and he'll bow his head. I have developed a spell as of late. If you feel a bit of magic from me tonight, I'd like for you to just let it by. It's something for the Marauders.
Just nods.
I understand. I thank you for your continued support.
Of course. Good luck tomorrow.
I wish you the same.
He'll bow his head and sort of then return back to the group if they're also together. Or if they're not, then he might sort of start making his way to Newton, Terry, and Cherry.
Okay. I'm gonna pull you back to
I
this
think we
map.
can probably have that conversation there that we had. I think that's good enough to smash cut it in there.
Okay, perfect.
I think the only thing I would add is I would ask Kieran sort of a personal question.
Go for it.
You seem like you have a lot of history of Shatrix in your head.
All of it.
Was there an Exalted named Calypso? And if so, why did she leave Shatrix?
He's still smiling the whole time you ask these questions. And here and there you see his eyes spark up a little bit. Bright blue. The arcane sigil engraved within them. He tilts his head a little, petting his owl.
You're one of them, huh? She didn't like the way we were doing things.
I was taught from my family not to trust your kind. That you are backstabbers. I like to make my own decisions about things. Would there be a reason for me to believe that? Is there any truth to it?
Have you ever spoken to her? Assassin?
No. I've never spoken to an Exalted until recently. And you're here.
So you should take my word for it.
I have been told to never take the word of anybody at face value.
Kind of rolls his eyes.
Listen, kid. If I had come here with the intentions of lying to you all, I could have also just stayed at home. This is a huge inconvenience for me. Do you know how many things I'm missing in Shatrix while I'm here?
Taking care of the sin that you're supposed to be taking care of? Sorry.
That sin should not have been here in the first place. But some people were apparently too proud to take care of them properly.
Well, maybe they should have better keepers.
Maybe they should. Would you be a better keeper? Or a sin?
Very awkward engagement. Hold on, give me a second to think of what I would say to that.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Not yet's crazy.
Not yet is crazy. Give me a week, bro.
Yeah, right.
While he's thinking, out of curiosity, can you all see the map names at the top of your screen?
Yes.
Only the Frost Maiden's Keep.
Oh, okay, so just the currently
Yeah, only
active one.
only the one.
Gotcha, cool.
I think he'll say to that. He'll say, well, I hope so. He won't really sort of expand on that. He'll leave.
As you're turning away,
Started on the
Mhm.
spell.
As you're turning away to leave, you just hear Tyrion's voice in your head one more time. I know what you are, and I know what you have there. You better keep it safe and away from them. When you might turn around to look at him, he is not even looking in your direction anymore. I literally, Doc, I was thinking of that the whole time.
Just a fucking second you said it. It was on site.
I know what you
The pearly gates won't open for your kind.
I was literally thinking of the exact same thing.
can't believe a white man is telling a young black boy he knows what he is.
Oh god.
Who said Tyrion's white?
I've seen
He's
him.
10. He's pretty. I mean, not black, but 10.
I thought you said 10 the age, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yes.
It's like
10-year-old
people
beefing
just
with
age
the
from
10-year-olds.
9 to 11.
Fucking 10-year-old beefing with a 7-year-old. Fight me, bro.
No, he's like decently
Uh,
10, but not like Clue.
Yeah. I think after that, that's when Blue would someone's Stuffy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let everyone decide if there's things they want to do before
Okay.
we get into that.
All right. All the 4 members of the Eyes of the Beholder. You've got a few hours before it's time to rest for the night. If there's anything you want to do, any NPC interactions that you want to go through, anything of the sort, now's your chance.
I'm probably trying to help Enya and the Frost Maiden help construct those frost walls basically in the courtyard to
Okay.
impede progress.
Okay. Sounds good. Both of them will be out there on the previous map that I had shown you, and would be erecting several layers of frozen walls that both of them, with relative ease, simply summon into existence, and kind of guided by what you consider to be the best locations for them, but also by their general understanding of the layout of the city. We'll be placing them in the best spots possible. Give me a general intelligence check, Jax. Now, in a moment like this, I wish there was like, I don't know, like a strategy check or something like that. I do wonder what could...
Strategy check.
That would be cool, like a strategy check that maybe uses wisdom or intelligence, but...
Performance.
Or intelligence.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay,
Not
that's
terrible.
not bad. That's not bad. Also, I will say, I just asked for intelligence because I don't know what your stats are at the moment. I haven't looked, so...
All right.
Yep.
That was never a strong one.
But with your guidance, their general understanding, you are able to place several layers of walls along the path with taking great care to make sure that none of the fighters on your side are locked behind the walls at this moment, because they are pretty permanent for now. They are not to be knocked down anymore, and anyone who were to be beyond them now would be kind of screwed unless somebody with magical abilities or you on your flying steed were to come around and pick them up, but you make sure that no one is. And the troops have gathered behind the roll me a d6, please.
You telling me to do that?
Yes, Jax. Yes, Daddy. Okay. 8 walls of ice that have been erected along this walk of death. Is there anything else you would like to do? This process would probably take you at max an hour.
Probably just going to find the others, make sure that everything is okay with the rest of the party. I'd probably go and just like pop in on each person if each person is not with anybody else, and just you'd be like, "You good?"
Okay. I'm going to hold off on that for a moment. I'm gonna have everybody else tell me if there's something they want to do immediately, but after that, you can have these conversations one by one if you'd like to. And if anyone needs your help, they can think about that in the meantime. But I have Malachi, Patish, and Heidi. Is there anything immediate that you would like to do?
Before Malachi does anything else, I will go to him and say, I realize how this sounds, but surely you understand that even the obvious needs to be confirmed in important occasions. These sisters would use mainly psychic attacks, yes?
Would I know that?
Give a history check. I've seen them in battle, but if your history check is good enough, I'm down to give you a few additional pieces of information that were not in your initial notes. That is good enough. You do know that they are mostly spellcasters. You have not seen them in battle, but you have heard that while they are generally behind the lines of their own troops, if they were to be attacked personally, they are also proficient fighters. Not the best per se, the most outstanding melee combatants ever, but they're also not just sitting ducks in that case. You also, I will tell you this, know the specific names of these sisters. One of them is Brazil, the psychic sister of Pain, and the other one is Ophisa, the psychic sister of Dominance. What that means exactly, I will leave up to you to interpret. Final little bit of information that you would know is that they are strong in their own right, but when they are together, that is when they are truly some enemies.
Can you spell those names?
Maybe. Give me a second to try. There's one I always misspell. Robzil. The psychic sister of Pain. Ophisa. The psychic sister of Dominance.
I was not as far off as I thought I was with Ophisa.
Ophisa was easy, yeah. Or easier, at least. Dropzil, the name generator really pulled a number there. Yeah, the name generator really killed me with that one. But I was like, you know what? Sick enough.
Dropzil.
Ophisa and Dropzil are mostly spellcasters, as you summarized. I've never seen them in battle, so I don't know what types of magic they typically use. I think considering they speak mind to mind with each other, there's a reasonable chance there will be some elemental magic, along with perhaps some enchantments, but they're also somewhat skilled with conventional weapons, so we should not think they'll be easy to take on. If there's some way to separate them, that would really give us an advantage.
Well, I would like to know that for sure, but yes, that is probably the best we have to work with.
Do you think
Oh, well.
that those three can take on Ira?
It is difficult for me to make a proper assessment when I have not met with this individual myself, rather than only hearing the horror stories about them, as if you will. Everyone who talks about this person seems to treat her as a sort of boogeyman. It is... If the legends and the way people talk about her are to be believed, then maybe not. But then again, doesn't everyone just praise the songs of these exalted so highly? Surely 3 of them should be able to do something. But if they can't, we'll be there to back them up. And if all of that is still not enough, then, well, I don't see what else we could do better.
Do you think even we'll be able to make a difference if those 3 can't? You didn't see Nuderin in battle. Is quite powerful. Even that's an understatement. He demolished nearly half the battlefield, just landing on it.
Even someone who is very powerful is unlikely to be able to accomplish everything on their own. You do know how concentration works, yes?
Obviously.
Can you concentrate on 2 spells at once?
No.
So if you needed 2 very specific spells that need concentration, could you do it on your own, no matter how powerful you are?
No.
There you have it. Not everything is a matter of how powerful you are.
I suppose not. I'll see you in the morning then. See you in the morning, is what he said.
I have my concerns about this, but regardless, now we're in it, proverbially. And all that is left is to do the best we can with the situation. If it all goes south, we'll figure out a way of exiting.
Are you going to bail on us? I know you've said you have an escape route.
Funny you should mention that. I no longer do, because banishment has been reworked in the 2024 rules.
Oh shit! Wait, let me look at that.
They changed the specific phrasing. It no longer works on any creature that is not native plane. It works on specifically, like, I think, elementals, celestials, and fiends or something.
That's so funny.
Yes.
Big lols.
So yeah, so that happened. I feel like something very important to my character has just been swept from under my feet.
Hey, listen, we adapt. We.
But yeah, it says if the target is an aberration, celestial, elemental, a fey, or a fiend, the target doesn't return if the spell lasts for 1 minute. So unless Nico decides that Heidi is actually a fiend right now, then no, just look off with banishment.
Actually, I'm a fiend too.
Yeah, like I'm all for like dual types, right? Like in my games, I consider like Dragonborn to be like humanoids and dragons.
Did you
For instance,
technically use
but that's not for all.
magical aura to change your creature type?
Right, it changes how your creature type is perceived, but it doesn't change your actual creature type.
Could you trick your spell and then making it perceive you? Magic is weird.
Yeah, like just roll a deception check against the planet.
I think someone else would have to do it to you. I don't think you can do it. You can't trick yourself unless you're gonna do weird.
No, but
shit.
even the person can be tricked, but the spell can't. Like you can't trick a person into thinking you're a human and then whole person works on you.
Hey man, I'm trying to help you.
I know, but still.
That is
Anyway,
so funny to me.
I will continue to not acknowledge that in character and go like, well, if things go too far south, maybe. But that just means we gotta put in some extra effort, right?
I suppose so.
And you won't have to worry about that after I'm back from my little excursion later.
Still think you could have better timing with that, but watch
There
your
is-
back when you're gone. Crimson Church never forgets a target.
I'm quite sure they will be waiting for me in some capacity. But if I deal with things fast enough, perhaps. And besides, I can't think of a better timing than right before I am about to go fight the, I don't know, grandfather of magic or something. Anyway, I will be tending to all of the tactics and some other things as well. You take care of whatever you need to.
Good luck out there. As much as I dislike it, our lives may be in your hands.
I'll make sure not to disappoint.
As Irie is leaving the room, Jax would pop his head in. You guys good?
I believe I am as good as I can be, yes.
What she said.
Insight check. Do I get the
Makers.
sense that
Bring it on,
something's-
bitch.
Oh!
Oh shit, it's at disadvantage against
shit.
Aida though.
I'm just trying to see is there tension in the room, basically. That's all I'm not like trying to see like what you guys are talking about.
What kind of tension?
Like you guys I walk in and you guys are like, I'm as good as I could be, what she said. It just seems like there's
Okay,
a
but-
little bit of tension.
Against Aida it has an advantage though.
Yeah, disadvantage against
You
ID.
get to roll again. Roll another 20.
Yeah,
I
you
dare
can
you.
also, on the insight check that you rolled initially, there's 2 arrows. You can click the one that points down, and it'll roll that same thing again.
I don't see that here. Oh, I do see it
Yeah.
on
You just
mine.
have to hover over the number you rolled.
The result, yeah. Well,
So,
Irie seems good. Does Malachi seem frustrated?
He seems pretty nervous about what tomorrow brings.
I would let Irie continue leaving. And I would stay to talk to Malachi. I don't know if you want to resolve anything else before we do that.
hold off 1 second, just a
Yep.
moment, while I go to Patish. Is there anything you'd like to do immediately after the meeting? You've seen that most of your party members have kind of headed out. Clue is somewhere in the vicinity in this room still. You saw that to talk to Udoran, Cherry, and Tyrion for a little bit before he began making his way out of the inner keep. Malachi and Idy had disappeared to one of the side chambers, and Jax had first gone to speak to Lucia before heading towards the side chambers as well. Is there something you'd like to do?
Yeah, I thought about it, and I do have something that I want to do over the downtime. How many total days of downtime did we have before like the big day?
There were a total of 3 days, 2.5.
That's technically 4 since
It was the 13th, half day, or like technically a bit more than half day. The 14th, and today is the 15th. Tomorrow would be the 16th when you expect the arrival of the sisters, Ira, and the army.
It was 3 days of life.
Yes.
Okay.
The 13th was the day after we died.
Right.
Hold on. I just need to double check something. I don't remember my spell slots for the day that happened. So give me 1 second while I pull that up. Dude.
Hopefully there's no effect on this map or on this art.
You're so right.
So-
I had two level 3 spell slots on that half day.
Okay.
I want to use as many possible spell slots to cast Glyphs of Warding on the area around,
Nice.
like essentially where they're going to be coming from.
Okay.
Obviously they're going to be explosive runes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna have a total, if we're only counting the days off, a total of 8.
Okay.
Because they're permanent.
Yeah.
Until triggered. So I'm going to make half of them fire, and then half of them will be acid.
Okay.
I don't want to make it cold. I feel like that's redundant. And do I have snare? I think I do have snare available.
Okay.
What level is it? What level is it? It's the first level. I have 4 of those. I'm gonna cast as many. Aren't they worth casting? There's gonna be hundreds of them, right?
Yes.
It'll slow them down still some. Like
Yeah.
they might get caught on their people.
No,
how
it's
much?
it's
how
quite a
much
good
is-
idea.
I don't know what snare does.
Good idea, yeah.
Sorry.
That's a good idea. I
what?
just don't know how much snare does. Does it explode anymore?
No, it catches a single person, I think. Yeah, it catches 1 creature for 1 minute.
Okay, then yeah, probably just more explosives then.
Is there a larger version of a snare? Like a
I don't think you can
larger area?
upcast it. No, you can't upcast it. It doesn't do anything when it's casted.
No, I mean like another
Um,
spell that might do something along those lines.
Can someone else put a spell in for you, or do you have to do it?
I think Patish has to do it.
I would have to do
Web
it,
would
yeah.
be the better spell if you could.
I can absolutely prepare web.
20-foot radius.
No, but we're
Yeah.
saying snare is the one that is put in place and doesn't have to be cast into a glyph of warding.
Yeah,
And that would be up Patisha's lower level spell slots instead of the
Oh.
third.
yeah, because snare is a first level spell, and I can do both technically, but snare feels useless against like a large amount of people. Web, I mean, I can cast it in the moment, but it only lasts up to 1 hour. It's concentration.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about. I thought you could use it for glyph of warding, but I forgot you can.
Yeah, I would rather just make glyph of warding explosive runes.
Yeah.
Let me. 'Cause the only other
You could
things
also, I mean, another idea if it would work is you could use grease on some of the glyphs. Explosive runes alongside grease. There might be perhaps some sort of interaction with that as well. Who knows?
Here, let's see. It's non-flammable grease.
Okay.
So I mean, like,
That's not what Baldur's Gate taught us.
I know, right? I was thinking like, oh, maybe it is flammable. No, it's specifically the first word is non-flammable.
I wonder if that's a 2024 thing.
It really might be.
Boring.
I mean, it can make people. It can force them to make deck saves and fall prone. But only so many people can end up within the.
It is a 2024 thing.
Only so many people can end up in the glyph warding area, and so people failing deck saves and like falling prone doesn't super matter unless people like more than one person ends up in the same space, you know.
I think
I'll
something really simple we could do is also just pour water out in places.
yeah. I mean, I'll
make
tell you
like
something that
ice.
I might be above table, but you're currently planning to defend a single, or like to prepare a single path. So from the way it's looking, the enemy forces will all have to kind of step through that main gate to get to these walls of ice that have been erected, and even though Grease would just be in one spot, it would slow them down regardless because these creatures have to pass through there.
Sure, but there was that area outside that you showed us, right? Is that not also technically a place that I can put glyphs
Can we
of
go back to the
warding,
battle
or
map?
Yes, I can take you back to the battle map. You mean, so this here,
Yeah.
where you're
is this
on?
not accurate, or
No, it is. So this is the inner keep, where you are right now. Oh, it doesn't like big ping, but this thing here at the back is the inner keep. That's where the meeting happened. The castle gates would be to the south of this image. So I'm thinking that the path that would lead to the gate, to the keep itself, would be these three little streets. I haven't found any good assets to kind of put on the sides here to really block off the path. So I'm mentally just imagining that that has been blocked off, but whatever creatures were to come towards that keep would have to walk along this path. So your explosions and your grease or whatever else you want to put along that path would affect anything that stepped through there.
and then the area that everyone wants to guard is what, inside of this inner keep, like the building up top, or?
You guys can correct me if I'm interpreting it wrong. I'm assuming that most of your troops will be placed either up on this higher area here to shoot down from there or to hold the keep, and many others will be placed kind of down here along these three paths to block incoming troops as well, kind of counting on the strategic advantage of them hopefully not being able to just overrun you because there's only one path. Or a few, just a few little paths.
Yeah, I mean, there's
But up
two
to you.
stairs.
Yeah, up to you. You have enough troops at the moment to definitely protect this entire entrance area here.
Where's the ruler? Oh, what the fuck? How many squares is that? It doesn't just say. Do I have to like oh my god, do I
There
have to
is
turn on
a-
a setting for it to?
To tell you exactly how much that is,
Yeah.
there is a measurement tool that should give you exact. You go to the measurement
Oh.
tool to the ray, and that should give you exact numbers.
Oh, it's just so small I couldn't see it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also white against the white background, but 30 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may recommend, I would
Um,
put these things, glyphs and some such, around these areas, because your troops will presumably be guarding the bottommost areas of the keep here. Up to the stairs, protecting that as well. If they have to fall back to the stairs, then things are looking somewhat dicey, but you'll have another big step there. At least that's
I
the way
feel
I'm
like-
interpreting. You guys have different plans and we're just.
I feel like if people flooded in from the west and from the south,
This
and
path
these
should be blocked.
intersections-
Yeah. What I mentioned,
Oh.
also this path here, and then on the right side, that path. They should both be blocked. I just didn't have any proper map assets to show that, but
Yeah,
the
and
only way is
checking the side aspects there.
correct. Yes, right. Yeah. The plan at the moment is to funnel them all in through these 3 little paths toward the 2 stairs. And that's where
Okay.
troops will be here and here, and obviously some up here to be able to provide fire from up there as well. But that's where the main troops alongside these Valor's Hall and Lower Gogol and the people of Invierno will be stationed to defend the keep.
Okay, then I'm gonna put exclusive here. 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 Don't want to catch allies.
I'd say up to here, you define toward the edges of these paths. Up to there, define where these people will be gathered to protect, and obviously inform them of that, which you will. They would know not to step too close, otherwise they'd be caught in the blast radius.
Yeah, it's just a 20-foot radius that I have to worry about. I can place up to
8, you said?
yeah, so here, and then here, and then I'll put these on the stairs.
Okay.
And we'll put there.
Oh, yeah. Now, what will be your specific for these glyphs?
I want the glyphs to trigger. Hold on, how far does that reach? Oh god, I gotta scroll in. Okay. 20 feet. Maybe I want to push back. Hold on. Select, please. Okay, I have to go to the drawing select tool. Okay. Drawing select. Why are they? Sorry, I have to move them further back because I want them to trigger when there are like a certain amount of enemies who have walked past it.
Okay.
So that there are like enemies in front of and behind it, so that it covers the most amount of enemies.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. It could be something like 10 seconds after the first enemies have passed this area.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Okay.
Now he's sort of don't reach too far out.
So it'll be like once it senses the first few enemies, there's a little bit of a timer that goes off, little magical beeping, and then once they've passed that area, boom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
And then for the grease, it'll be as soon as someone reaches the center where the rune is placed, grease automatically activates.
Okay. I'll make sure that someone means an enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An enemy.
Okay. Jotting that down for my notes. Okay, perfect. So those were some of your preparations throughout these 3 days. Love it. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this specific moment, going back to that, unless you have any other ideas for the past 3 days?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So I'll then let you jump back to the conversation between Malachi and Jax.
What's going on, bud?
Just getting ready for the upcoming battle.
You seem nervous. I feel like you're not usually nervous.
Do I?
Yeah, I mean, Irie seemed fine, but it seemed like there was a little bit of tension in the room when I walked in.
I've never heard the guy up here, and he taps his head, nervous before. That alone is more than unsettling. I don't know what history he knows of the sins, but if even Ira makes him nervous, I'm not certain about the outcome of tomorrow.
I don't really know what you're talking about, but I mean, yeah, I guess it seems like something's off, but I mean, it's a big deal. I think we got this. We got preparations here, and I'm feeling pretty good. The last fight you held your own.
And the one before that, I got killed.
Oh yeah, I guess that did happen.
Be as it may, you seem like you've changed a lot in the last 3 days while I've been in La Sauvagerie.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel strong. I've got all these new cool tricks up my sleeve. I'm ready. I think it's gonna be fun tomorrow.
Fun is not the word I'd use, but I'm glad you're ready.
Well, look at it this way. You've already died once, and you're still here, so...
An experience I'd rather not repeat. And I don't even know when that freaky ghost is gonna show up demanding my soul again.
Yeah, I wonder whatever happened to that.
Obnoxious timing.
Or convenient.
Supposedly, Ellipsia has been holding it at bay with just her presence. And I guess it didn't track me to the desert. But it will come back again someday.
I wonder if there's any way we could use that tomorrow.
How so?
Like, kind of sick it on Ira or something?
Unlikely. It's after those who've cheated death. Which in a way, maybe Ira has.
That's what I was gonna say. You don't think Ira has once or twice?
Possibly. But, being that it is the minion of one exalted, and Ira is the sin of wrath, probably wouldn't stand a chance against her.
I see.
But, it's a clever idea. If it shows up, I'll give it a try.
Yeah. Maybe, like, go stand next to somebody that we want to do damage to or something. Try to, like, blink out of the way last second like you do.
Like I do.
You're pretty good at it.
Need to be better. Couldn't blink out of the way of the... Oh god, what's her name? The...
Magician?
Yeah, no. The mime. Couldn't
Oh.
blink out of the way of the mime. But... it's in the past. Be ready for tomorrow. And he'll kind of clap you on the shoulder and make his way out of the room.
See you in the morning.
Just kind of waves his shadow hand as he turns and walks out.
Jax, you wanted to seek out the others as well?
Yeah, I'd probably go and find a clue, doing whatever clue's doing at this point.
Okay. I think to look for Clue, you'd have to wait a little bit. He's currently not around, necessarily.
You'll see it eventually.
You'll see it eventually. The other one that would probably be available, maybe busy in some sort of way, would probably be Patish right now.
Sure. Is Patish still doing the glyphs, or was that something that was done over the last couple days?
That was probably done over the last couple of days. Maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, Patish, but you might be out there just inspecting your glyphs again, making sure that everything was set up the proper way, and perhaps preparing any other final touches that you might have somewhere around the outside of the keep. Maybe taking a look from up here, and just might go to that.
Yeah, I mean, they only take hours each to create,
Mm-hmm.
and our like 3 hours isn't a whole day, so.
But Jack, you can find it.
You good? Yeah.
She is overseeing like sort of area in front of the keep, and you can tell like she's got this like long stare that's sort of just going down the front of this sort of courtyard area. If not like going past it, like looking out into the distance by herself.
You good?
Oh. Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean, about as good as I could be. There's just a lot of enemies coming. And I am trying to figure out what this is worth, you know? This isn't exactly what I came here for. And it's not exactly what I tagged along for in the first place anyways. Feels like more than I really thought I would get myself tagged into. But what am I gonna do, run away?
What did you think you were getting into?
Well, I mean, when I came here, I just came here to see if there was something that I could learn, you know? There are beings with bodies far more robust than ours, and if I could learn from that or find any other people with different body types and statuses and illnesses and biologies that I could learn from while here, then that would be great, because I've only ever really known Shatrix. You know, what's wrong with a little variety? But, I mean, that was the main reason I came here, obviously. This just happened to be something that I found along the way.
Yeah, this is a bit different from that, but
Yeah, really.
you're helping the greater good.
Sure. I mean, I don't care, honestly, whether I help the greater good or not. I prefer to just get out of this alive. And I can tell some of you don't always think that's the best idea either. You know, while you're here trying to fight the greater evil, is it really worth throwing your lives at it? Just to save the place that might not exist when we leave?
I think it goes beyond that.
Is it?
I think so. I think this sin showing up is a big issue that needs to be dealt with. That could affect your home. Our home.
Why is he from here? For what reason? He just conquered it.
Oh, maybe this is just a start, and once they finish up here, that's where they move next. Who knows?
Oh man. What's wrong with him?
She.
Just find allies and then what?
She.
What's wrong with him? Just find allies and then work from there.
Like, that's what's happening. They're joining out the lights of Pandora.
I mean, yeah. So why so mystique? It's not like these two are leaving. You know, they're not going back to shape. It's different. So what? She just conquer this place just to say that she defeated these well, three of them now, but it feels there's something behind it that's just bothering me. I can't put my finger on it. It's there has to be a reason. What's here? Have we checked every corner of this place? What are they hiding from us?
Those are good points, but whatever it is, if they are looking for something, it's best that we stop them getting it.
Sure, but that means that the Exalted here are hiding something from us. If we don't know what the Sin is looking for, then it's because the Exalted is hiding from us. I just don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust the Sins. I barely know you guys. It's a position medium, personally, but I mean, what am I? What? Again?
What did you run from first?
Never mind. I mean, it's not gonna accomplish anything wrong. I'm not gonna get it. I won't learn anything about it wrong. So, I mean, I'm just figuring out. But I'm not gonna sit here and die if things go wrong again. And I don't feel like you don't really blame me for that, but it's not like I don't feel guilty. I just, this became your fault. I'm sure there are people in tricks that can take on Sin. Anyways, we run back there. We can come back here. I don't know.
You're way out.
I'm sure we'll find them. I mean, like, if we all came in to Shatrix on our own terms, why is Shatrix not sending a whole army? Do they not know what's going on? Or, you know what, maybe they know what's going on, they choose not to do anything. They don't give a shit what happens to these people. You heard Hellback saying that he was dying over and over and wanting to kill over and over until he finally snapped out of it. They don't give a shit. And it feels like I wandered into a dumpster, and now I have to stop the fire. Guess who brought the fucking matches? The people of Shatrix themselves. It's really frustrating. I don't... Look, figure it out. It's not like I'm not married. I mean, go do what you need to do.
Oh. For what's worth, I appreciate your help. Thank you for being here, and don't stay up too late. Get some rest.
Can't get two when the river's full of mates. Thanks, so.
And Jackson will leave Teach to do what Teach does.
Okay. Clue, I think it's
We
about,
like the clue.
I think it's about that time that you were returning from where you were having the conversation that we've already had. Maybe at that point, Jack's gonna find you. Your comments were right in what's happening there, but
I think he would see something first. I think he would hear something first. I think actually a lot of people would. If they're in the he probably would. Anyone in the general prep area would. Because in the night, as like the night sort of like goes on and the blizzard, like before the blizzard starts to rage for tomorrow, there's sort of a sudden stillness in the air, and
as everyone's prepping, the clouds in the sky kind of start to shift high above and part. And it's probably been a while for a lot of people to see the full moon in Invierno. And it shines down in sort of small lights like the Aurora Borealis start to appear, and the clouds start to form into symbols in the sky. Valor's Call, Sapazeri, Uterine Shield. And I think Cleo would have even asked Frostbane before he left if there's like a symbol important to her that she would like to give her people peace. Followers. And whatever that symbol is, it forms in the sky like a tapestry.
Her particular symbol. Sorry, continue.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No. Okay, what is?
Her particular symbol is one you've already seen in the past. It is a heart made of ice, but not the typical kid's drawing of a heart. It appears to be an actual biologically accurate heart. But you can tell that it is made of ice due to the somewhat jagged edges of it and the detailing on this specific symbol. Makes it look, how do I put this, perhaps a little reflective in a way. She would show you this and tell you that her people will recognize this as the symbol of the Frost Maiden, their guardian.
And who would do his best to facsimilate that symbol. And there's sort of a hum in the air as people can start to hear sort of the whistling of what sounds like a blade, but then it starts to sort of pick up into a noise. And if anyone would look up, they would then see all the symbols in the sky, 5 stars surrounding them. And they would get entranced by several people. First, they would hear Hillbeck and it would flash to our adventures, our battles with him, as he tells us his story, why he wants to defeat the king. And flash forward to our victories. Then they would hear Lord, who's La Sauvage's leader? The spellcaster? Bogle?
Lord Bogle.
Lord Bogle.
Gogol, the G.
Bogle.
Gogol.
I'm typing it up.
Gogol. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I hear his stories of the victories of La Sauvagerie. And it's too much all at once to sort of process. So Clue tries to just squeeze it into little snapshots of victory and loss and grief and joy and love and hate. Sort of pass on all these powerful emotions with these symbols in the sky. And if any are above, or any sort of that look up into the sky, they could see sort of blaring through the sky. Clue is doing a very acrobatic sort of dance around twisting and turning, blades spinning around, slicing at the wind as the symbols are being carved out of the sky, and they hear the sound, drums, taiko drums and music, and all these memories and all these stories and all these emotions. And he leaves it with one final message. If you want your freedom, go take it. And those symbols will stay in the sky. And then he'll land in front of the keep, shivering a bit.
What the heck? Where'd you just come from?
Just sort of trying to get everyone a bit motivated for tomorrow.
You can fly?
You would have actually he would have been flying on a griffin. The dance you would have seen, kind of, it would have been absurd to watch, sort of like the sort of balance he would have had to do it. But essentially he was on top of this griffin as it was flying about, and sort of like, you know, like have you ever seen like sort of like a trapeze artist jump on a rope? Mm-hmm. He'd probably be doing certain moves like that, where like the griffin would like dip down and then catch him as he lands.
Where did you get a griffin?
You know, that snake guy that we fought?
Yeah.
He used to be part of our group. He had a familiar that he was able to summon. That was left with me after he was taken.
You think if we take out the charmer that he'd come back?
I don't know. I hope so.
How are you feeling about it tomorrow?
What do the troops that have been working on the keep look like? After sort of seeing the canvas in the sky.
This is a pretty easy read. You'll see all of them kind of look up at the sky at the appearance of this imagery above them, and all the respective groups seem somewhat emboldened by the images, the memories that they can see above, and you can see many of them in a very warrior-like manner place a fist against their chests as they steel themselves, preparing themselves for the next battle. You see some of them hugging each other, reminded by previous victories, previous successes, side by side with the brothers and sisters. And generally, you get a more uplifted and positive energy from the troops, whereas they had been nervous, on edge before. They feel more reinvigorated now.
I feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean, and the only choice I have is to keep swimming towards land.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Clue said, I feel like I'm in the middle of the ocean, and the only choice I have is to keep swimming towards land.
Yeah, I guess that's the vibe everybody has in a way. There's only one way forward. It won't be easy, but the end is in sight.
I don't know. I'm worried. Honestly. You didn't get to see Neuterin.
Well, he was there. I saw him.
No, in battle.
Oh no, yeah. What happened?
It was amazing. You know all those gestures we fight, those creepy spider-looking things, and those monstrous alien bastards? There's maybe, something over 50 of them on the battlefield. 70, 80 maybe, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And then just with one stomp, almost all of them dropped.
Well, I mean, so sounds like we have someone pretty strong on our side.
And that same person needs the help of another one. Well, two others of comparable strength to hold back a sin.
Well, we have 3 pretty strong people against 1 sin. Us against 2 sisters. I think it'll be feasible to cut the head off the snake, if you will.
Save that line for the snake charmer.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Feel pretty good. I haven't felt this good, honestly, since I found you all. Coming here is a bit of a wake-up call. I'm excited to try some of this out.
You look pretty jelly. Is that proximity?
I don't know. I don't feel old.
Have you lived yourself in the last 3 days?
Guess we'd probably go try to find like a wall of
Oh.
ice or something to look into at this moment. And then he'd turn back and just be like, what's different?
I can't tell if he's being daft.
He doesn't notice the difference.
Blue will pull out his journal and show a picture of Jax before, and then like collar drag him to that surface and sort of compare the two.
Oh, I guess I did look a little different.
And so you see how you don't have ice sort of like lingering on your heart, and you see here how like you're pale, and you see here how.
I mean, I'm getting older.
Not that quickly.
And maybe the cold is doing something to me. I don't know. But it feels good.
Well, as long as you feel good, I guess there's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are gonna have nerves about tomorrow, like, and that's gonna impact their sleep. I'm eager. I want to get this show on the road. Let's get this over with.
I'd say prepare for the worst. I'd like to think that once we handle the sisters, that there'd be something we could do to help Nudrid and Tyrion and Lopsia.
Do we think without the sisters, the army would be like incapable? Like, what's the plan there?
At the very least, I think it'd be more dysfunctional.
Yeah. We might have to. I don't know. We might have to help there. I just that's my biggest worry. I feel like 300, 400 troops against thousands is it's our biggest weakness.
And this is the hole we put ourselves into, so might as well climb out of it.
Yeah, the defenses should help. So I think I feel like we have a pretty good chance.
Nico, do I have little guy with me right now? I
Yep.
would have him tucked in somewhere.
Yep. Yes, you do.
Clue would sort of start to fidget, like there's like something tickling his neck.
Do you have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. I had to hold it because I was flying in the air so long.
Okay, well, go take care of business. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, Jax.
Yeah.
Keep being you.
I don't know how else to be, so.
Yeah. Anyway. Night.
Night.
He'll head off unless anyone tries to find him.
That's all I got. I know better not to go bother Irie after hours.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do in this moment?
My clone, who is the one who will be staying with the troops, will coordinate with Gogol, Cerise, and Strongheart to sort of get everyone on the same page, revise tactics, like make sure we are spreading the troops in the most efficient way possible. Also that she knows how to coordinate them in battle. In the best way. Heidi herself will be staying in her room, working on magical stuff, revising tactics, making preparations of all sorts. Akta would be kind of like, oh, I can go like fight people now, right? And I just like, nope, come with me, it's fine. Like, I'll make some illusions to play with you, like, before I go to bed or something.
You want to fight?
Yeah, I just kind of like, nope, you can find like some illusions or whatever to entertain it. The skeleton, goddamn it, the literal skeleton crew that I had fixing things. I guess they are not useless, but
those?
like they're not. What?
How many are those? Like, how many of those do you have?
It's Tanaka and then 6.
I've been 6. Is that the
Yeah.
limit?
It's the limit that you can raise with like 1 casting. I could technically like do, I think 4 more, but it's kind of like, the difference isn't that large at the end of the day.
They can't fight anyway.
Yeah, like the skeletons are gonna be basically like useless in the fight itself, so I'm just kind of like having them keep Akuta entertained, probably. Like they did their part.
I feel like they must be boring after fighting Clue among others. But like,
They are zombies, so it's kind of like good training for her to get a crit hit in, you know. Otherwise, they're gonna keep coming back.
I suppose so.
But yeah, I'm gonna be preparing medical stuff. I don't think there is much I can do in advance. Well, there are things that I can get ready for sure, but I've already assessed that out. Yeah, I will be focusing on the fight ahead and refining like The recent experiences with the portal, I'm going to try to keep incorporating that to refine the new spells I read.
Okay. Now, while you're doing this, someone would go knock him on the door of your room.
Okay.
Say that again?
Wait, wait,
It's not
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. You cut off for a second. Maybe my Wi-Fi.
We're being smug.
Oh,
I was just like, if it's going to happen to me anyway, I'm not going to.
who are you looking for? Right?
I'm looking for anyone.
Okay, I'm trying to do with someone. There will be a knock on the door.
Come in.
It's me. That's not the voice. It's me. Brindle Run.
Oh, that is much more pleasant than I expected. Please come in.
He'll open the door, step inside, glance around the room, see everything you've been preparing, everything you have been working on. He'll just not watch it. Yeah, wouldn't mind in a free manner as a fellow man of Dirty. Appreciates his work. I have something that I had to deliver to you.
Is that so?
I believe you might be able to distribute these gifts amongst your people. Can I trust you with that?
Of course.
And he'll reach into his robes and bring forth 3 scrolls that each are slightly different colored. There's one that is pitch black. There's one that is usual parchment color situation, and then there's another that is a little more on the grayer side. He'll hand you the black one first. And he'll say, "From Lady Sibylla, she informed me that she owed you a gift. Thanks for helping us helping her return. I did of course not read any of these scrolls, so I don't quite know what they contain, but she said it is of utmost importance that this one in particular was not opened by anyone else, and you should also be very careful with what you do with it. Is that understood?"
It is very much understood. I'm glad that Sivona remembers us.
I-
What I had intended with.
I'll be honest, she didn't tell you to put this part of the message to you, but there was a lot of swearing about having to look through her old books and tools to find this piece of information that found eventually. So that is yours. This one here, also the rare one, is for your friend with that shelly arm. Also, not entirely sure what it contained, but he also suggested that this one should not be read just by anyone. It's in particular for him. Then, there is another scroll here. The regularly parchment colored one. This one is for your little friend. She said this one is highly classified information. I seriously don't know what kind of questions or gifts you all asked from her, but it seems like none of them should really fall into the wrong hands, and she seems to trust you all enough with it. Please, be careful.
But these are not to be read by anyone except their intended recipients, yes?
Yes, and even then, be very careful with the information that is on the scrolls. And there is one more, although I don't see him here. This one is for your hairy friend. Has he left your group?
You mean the grumpy old man with the beard?
Well, he wasn't that old, was he now? Kind of caressing his own beard. But, yes, him.
He passed away.
Oh, that is a shame. Well, this one was for him. And this one, she said he could do with that information knowledge as he wished. Although I am uncertain what to do with it now, considering he is no longer among us.
He's no longer what?
No longer here.
Well, you know how I am. I'll find a use for it.
Very well. Miss Heidi, I will leave you to your studies. I'm once again impressed and pleased to see that you are continuing on your arcane studies. If there's any kind of way that I can help you while I'm here, don't hesitate to let me know.
Are you sure you don't want to stop for tea?
And I looks around the room with lust, but not in the like sexual or sensual kind of way.
Yeah.
It's more like, fuck, I really would love to be here right now rather than anywhere else, but he shakes his head. If we have an opportunity to reconvene after a successful battle, I will certainly take you up on it, but I must return to the side of Strongheart. We have strategy to talk about with your sister and further things to prepare. But believe me, this room screams of possibility and intrigue. I can't wait for the chance to return.
Did you know I've copied a couple of Endelin's little tricks?
You've copied a couple what?
Of Endelin's little tricks.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't tell me now.
Yes. After we're done with this whole ordeal, you can give me your assessment.
Absolutely. I'm terribly excited. That alone is good enough reason to be successful tomorrow.
Yes, let it serve as motivation.
Absolutely. I will not tell the others that this is what is pushing me forward in this moment, but kinda touches the tip of his nose. Between you and I. Winks. Have a good night. And he'll step out the room and close the door behind him.
Good night, Ring Room.
I think I'll probably catch Clue on the way.
Oh! There you are, little one.
Hi, Ringleron. How are you doing?
You had noticed a little bit of a spring in his step as he was walking along this hallway. Oh, you know. Preparing for tomorrow's altercation, but otherwise, all right. The years are slowly starting to catch up to me, but I've still got some energy left in these old bones.
Who kind of raises like his one singular eyebrow and just kind of smiles. Seems like somebody had fun magical talk or potential magical talks.
Kind of looks off and whistles. I don't know what you could possibly be talking about.
Sure. It's good to see you.
I left
How
something
is
for
this-
you with Miss Idy. Pick it up whenever
Oh.
you have a chance.
Oh, thanks. You didn't need to give me a gift. I was.
It's not from me. It's from Lady Zybilna. Her thanks.
Ah, right. That was a while ago now, huh?
Apparently it took some time to unearth the knowledge you asked her for. Truly, what possibly could you have asked of her? Don't tell me. I wish not to know if it was so difficult for her to find, but it is intriguing. Your group is an interesting one.
Hasn't it been like 2 or 3 weeks?
Yes.
It's I mean, Fey time. You never
Yeah.
know how long it was for them.
True.
Cool. Just for a shrug. Maybe more interesting from the outside looking in. Just feels like we're a bunch of people with ambition.
Ambition is a good motivator, so long as you walk on the correct path. Now, good night, young man. I've got business to attend to.
Right.
And
cool
he'll walk
bow.
off.
Yeah. Go ahead to Ira's room. He'll knock.
Yes.
Hi.
Iris stopping her reading again mid-sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Irie doesn't need to stop reading to do that. She can multitask. No one has damn near 3 brains.
You may enter.
Cool. Walk inside and close the door.
Well, I expected a guest tonight, and you're the second one to come through that door who is not who I thought.
Hope I'm not an unpleasant one.
No, not particularly. There are worse ones.
I wanted to bring this up with you more than anyone because Malachi seems a bit
Razzle.
nervous for the battles for tomorrow. Yeah, Batisha's mostly a stranger, and Jax is Jax.
Octa pops her head out from like under a shelf or something. Like, lizard men, strong and dumb. Reminds Octa of many people.
So kind of just tilts his head at her. You know, we can just talk our normal language when we're together, right?
Oh, yes. I had forgotten about that. It is quite refreshing.
Yeah. Feel free to talk to me however you want, but whatever's more comfortable. Do you have a plan if the worst comes tomorrow? I have confidence that we can defeat the Psychic Sixers. I think it's well within our capabilities. But I don't know how strong Ira is. And if Malachi's benefactor is legitimately shaken, I do worry about what could come.
There are ways. for us to escape, if push comes to shove. One of them is more guaranteed, but would require us to have some time bought for us, which in turn means probably one of those painted ones sacrificing themselves for us to make our escape. There is another which is not guaranteed and would require me to make potentially life-straining effort, but it is technically within the realm of possibility, or it should be. But like I said, much riskier.
With that in mind, I'm going to give you something out of trust.
Raises an eyebrow, but says nothing.
Clue, pull out the chalice that brought him here. You think that this would make it easier for you to find a way to escape? I'm willing to let you study. I would be careful about tinkering too much with it for obvious reasons. The obvious being Edra, second being it's a weird artifact, and the third being my dad gave it to me, and I'm not sure how he reacted to it.
Okay, this would be useful, yes.
No, consider Dex trusting as he is searching for everyone, but I'm sure he didn't ask me because, well, you're good at hiding if anything's bothering you, but are you okay?
I've been in tough spots before. And I had far lesser ability or resources to rely on at the time, so as much as I acknowledge a dangerous situation when I see one, it is also very comforting to be able to do something about it.
I wanted to say sorry.
I'm sorry, Nico, can you mute?
Oh, is the keyboard loud?
Yeah, we can hear your loud ass fucking mechanical keyboard covering everyone.
My bad,
This
my
is
bad.
pissing me off. Thank you.
I didn't even hear it. Just tuned it out.
I did hear it. It was very loud.
Yeah, everyone
No, I
did.
heard-
Zaka kept stopping because of it.
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
I'd like to say sorry to you.
What for?
When Leon died, and we were arguing about his things, and while I do kind of stand by, I don't particularly trust you with the egg. I didn't mean to say the things I did. You're a fair person. I know that. But sometimes that can make you a cold person too. So I'm sorry that I acted that way with you.
It is fine. It is good that you acknowledge what you were wrong about. Don't think I forgot about the matter with the egg, though. I still don't.
Well,
I still don't like to be kept out of whatever is being done with it.
it's another thing, actually. And Blue will pull his shirt down a little bit, and the just a little bit of antennae will peek out, and two beady, glowing purple eyes will pop out on a tiny little head. Say hi, Yozuru. Oh, Yozora.
Hatched. Remarkably fast.
I was putting a very large amount of effort, especially in the nights.
Is that the reason you murdered that giant skull thing?
I did that for a lot of reasons. I don't know if this comes across, but I can't stand the way that people are here treated.
That creature was a victim as well. But I'm not here to be anyone's mother. Regardless. So this being, what are you doing with it?
We will just kind of lightly pet it. I'm raising it. That's what I think Mr. Leon would have done. But we'll sort of walk over and put the chalice down. I don't want any negative feelings between any of us by the time we do what we have to do tomorrow. I trust you. Sometimes I don't like you. And sometimes you amaze me. There hasn't been one time that we've known each other that I didn't respect the person that you were.
You are very precocious.
It's
I
one
mean
of my
that as
primary
both a...
points.
No,
Sorry.
yes, I mean that as both a compliment and an insult.
He does grin towards that.
But regardless, apology accepted. Like I mentioned, I will be less stingy about what I know and what I possess and what I think once things are cleared up back at home.
Alright.
But it's good to know that your opinions of my personality, which I have no which doesn't really affect me, has no true bearing on your opinions of my values, which do stack up nicely.
My sister always told me that you don't say things for people, you say things for yourself. I wanted you to know that, so that's why I said it. That's all. Humor me for one last thing.
Sorry, what?
Humor me with one last thing.
Yeah.
Cleo will sort of pull his bag out and set up a dragon chessboard.
White or black?
There's an inferior version of the games we play back home.
But if you want to play Go, just say so.
I'm more of a shogi woman myself, but I will pick red.
You can play shogi as well. I have all the board games.
Who is a board game enthusiast?
He is actually such a fucking nerd.
Bro's a gamer.
But if shogi's her preference, he'll take that instead. And he'll just do one singular move.
You don't have to move your piece now. But I wanted this to start being something. Every night, we'll set up this board and do one move.
Raises an eyebrow.